Aw, shit. Here we go again.
Welcome to the Sloppy Book Club podcast. I'm Jenny.
And I'm Celese. And we are on season 2, episode 17.
Yes, we are.
Okay. And making sure. So yes, on this week's episode, we are going to review a book that our followers chose for us. We actually asked, what was it, last month, for someone to give us, suspense thriller kind of book rec, because
yes,
we don't really read a lot of those, so we wanted to kind of like branch out and do something else. So we got a ton of different options. We put in our little pinwheel thing, and It Girl by Ruth Ware was the one that was chosen. So
I was super excited to read it because it's a really popular book. So I was excited.
I've never heard of it until...
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw it literally all the time.
No, it's not something that comes up on my feed because it's not something that I generally would like. I get like a lot of romance and fantasy and like all of that on my, For You page or whatever.
Yeah.
My algorithm does not lean towards this way.
No.
So this was brand new to me. Never heard of it. So I was just like, okay, I'll jump into it. Sounds good. So again, this was your pick, and now we're going to review it. So buckle up. There will be spoilers. So if you do not know anything about this book and do not want to know how it ends or want to get it, any spoilers or things, stop listening.
Yes.
Pretty much. Stop right here.
I mean, I can give like a little like blurb.
No,
like
stop right here.
One.
No, yeah.
But
sure.
Yeah, otherwise. Wait, do you have a drink? I bet you don't.
I do not.
You're such a slacker. Well, I have a drink. I have a brand new one that I've never tried before. So,
one of us has to be on it.
Yes. I already poured it in my cup because I don't want to drink out of this can. But it's called Monaco, and it's a peach hard lemonade.
Oh, I want that right now.
9% alcohol.
Jesus Christ.
So, yes, it's double what a Truly would be, I think, because I think a Truly is 4 or 5.
I think it's more on the 5.
Yeah, so 9. Cheers.
Or are Truly's 8?
No. There's no way. Like, I can down Trulies. If they were that much, I don't know if I could handle that. So no. I'm going to try it because I've never had it before. It smells really good.
I want it to taste like a peach ring. Does it taste like a peach ring?
It's got it. Okay, so that it's very alcohol-y tasting.
Okay.
But juicy. It tastes like a peach juice, but not a peach ring.
Aw.
Yeah, it's sweet.
More on the sweeter side.
Yeah, this is sweet, but you definitely feel the alcohol.
Is it? So
I'll just sip it just a little bit.
Sip it very slowly. No, I did not.
They come like in a single can, so you can just buy it. I only bought one. So
I'm gonna have
cheers.
Cheers to you.
Thanks.
Fake drink.
That's all right. It's all good. We can get right into the book.
Yes, we can.
All right. So, It Girl by Ruth Ware. It's a psychological thriller, and it follows this woman, Hannah, who found her friend murdered in their university dorm room, like, what is it, like 10 years prior or something like that?
Yeah, because it's 10 years ago, yeah.
Yeah, and then throughout the book, Hannah is struggling because she was the only like actual witness, or she's the person who found her. She's struggling with the fact that she put someone in jail and it could be the wrong person.
Yes.
So that's a little spoiler-free blurb.
Yep. So basically, it's been 10 years. Hannah found her roommate / best friend dead. She witnessed a guy leaving their like dorm area, and they had a history. And so she suspected him, and he was, on trial and found guilty. So he's been in jail for the last 10 years. Feels like, did I do the right thing? Was this the right person with this like new information? So again, if you don't want to know what happens after that, stop listening, because now we're going to get into the spoilers. So I enjoyed this book where it was like the before and after. So like you get before her best friend's murder, and then everything that happens after the murder, which is present time.
Yeah.
We are following Hannah Jones's perspective. She is she got accepted into Oxford University, and her friend April, very popular, where she came from, super rich. She's the it girl. That's where the title comes from. She's the it girl. She's everyone, you want to be friends with her kind of thing. They have their own clique of friends because of April. April knows a lot of people.
Very dynamic.
Right.
All different personalities and walks of life, I think.
Yeah, pretty much. So we kind of are given glimpses of April and Hannah's relationships, her relationship with her friends, and then present time, which is after. So after April's death, it really affected Hannah. She wound up leaving the school. She didn't want to be there. She didn't want to relive, that trauma. She moves away and is starting this new life. And Will, who was April's boyfriend, kind of follows her after a couple years after. Like they become pen pals, and then he kind of follows her. And
I feel like he didn't follow her. I feel like he found her because she was just like, he randomly came into my bookstore or whatever, her job one day. And that's how they started talking.
I don't think it was that random. I think he planned it.
No, I mean, like for her, like that's how her point of view it was.
Yeah.
But we know it wasn't like that. Right. That was very sketch.
So
and
Will
red flag for me.
Right. Will winds up, showing up one day. Yeah. They get to talking, form a connection. They get married, and now Hannah is pregnant. So she marries her best friend's boyfriend and is pregnant by him.
Yes, but she did kind of have a crush on him, but it was her own fault back in school because she didn't take the plunge, and there was this one incident that they talked about where she had the chance to try and like jump in and go for it, but instead April did.
Yeah.
So that's how April and Will got together in school.
And you can tell that April and Will's relationship was just sex.
It was surface level, yeah.
It was just, there was no substance to it.
Because she gave it up. She gave it up. Yeah. She gave that cookie.
To everybody.
She sure did. So I think April was pretty much described as like outgoing, flirty. She came from money. She didn't really care what people thought of her. She just went for whatever she wanted, pretty much. And Hannah was a complete opposite. She was just kind of there and smart, but kind of just rode the wave.
Yeah, pretty much. Hannah wasn't outgoing until she met April. April kind of brought that out of her. And you get a sense that April, even though she's labeled the it girl, she's not very light. And that has to do with her personality. Like, she is blunt. She expects everything to go her way. And she's really good at making you feel like if you're not friends with her, then like you're going to be on the outs.
Yeah.
And April is a really big prankster, which everyone hates. Like she does really bad pranks. And this really goes into the story as to why Hannah starts to feel like maybe she made the wrong decision. when it comes to, I think his name was Neville, or his last name was Neville.
Yeah, John Neville.
Hannah doesn't come from a lot of money. Getting into Oxford was really hard. And depending on your scores, that's how you can get in.
I think depending on what they were there for, they had to take like an entrance exam in order to get there, depending on what their major was or whatever.
But even while they were taking their courses, they were always tested in something. Like, that is super stressful, first of all. Well, Hannah, she knew this is all Hannah could get. Like, this is her end, you know, to having like a really good life, getting a good education. Like, she worked really, really hard. And here's April, where you get a sense like she was paid, like her family paid for her to get there. Like, she didn't necessarily take anything serious. But then the more we learn about April, she actually was really good in school. Like, she did stay up late taking tests. Even Hannah said that she read one of her papers and was like, she couldn't believe how good it was. So April was smart, but in front of everyone, she kind of came off as like the dumb blonde who's rich and like
the it girl.
Yeah. But she was, you know, the opposite of that, but she didn't really show it, which I don't understand why she was such a bitch. She was a bitch.
Same.
She was really
unnecessary.
It like the pranks that she did on like Ryan and Emily, like they were mean. Right. So when we first initially find out that she's dead, that's all we find out, is that she walks into the room and April is lying on the ground in front of the fireplace, and she knows she's dead, or she suspects that she's dead. Now, she suspects that it was John Neville because John Neville and Hannah have a really bad relationship. Since the very first day that she got into Oxford, he's, I forgot what they call him, but basically like a maintenance worker / like front desk person for, you know, their dorms and the facilities or whatever. So the very first time she met him, she's asking for the keys to her apartment, and he kind of like dangles it and, you know, above her, and then she tries to take it and then he like snatches it away.
Oh, you almost got it.
Yeah, and he's creepy. He's an older man. It comes off super creepy. So you're like, no, it had to be him. It progressively gets worse is that one time where she's late to coming back to the dorms. Like, they're like in a gated dorm kind of area. So at a certain time, the gates get closed, and then you would have to go through the front desk to get entrance into your apartment. But she hated doing that because that means she would have to, you know, John Neville might be working, and she just didn't want to go. He was just weird, and she didn't want to be around him. So one of her friends told her, well, just climb the wall. Like, they have like cemented walls or whatever. He was like, oh, just climb the gate, climb the wall. And she was just like, okay. Well, she's not very athletic, and it winds up being really, really high. She gets her foot stuck. She winds up falling, almost like freaking breaks her ankle. And somebody notices her climbing the wall trying to get in. So she knows that it's John Neville, so she tries to like run away from him, and he chases her and like slams her onto the ground. She winds up getting like a marking on her face, bruising on her body, and her friend, you know, and then she winds up getting away from him and going back into her room, but she's shaken up by it because she said he was pressing hard on her and that she could feel him, like his length on him.
See, I felt so bad for him because he was just a weird, creepy, like probably shouldn't be around women kind of thing. But I never got the impression that he killed someone, even though he's in jail for killing someone. Right.
No, you know? I always just felt like he was just super.
He was just creepy. Yeah.
But then again, like, I don't know, the whole like the way she described him on top of her and panting, and like I was just like, eventually this is gonna go too far.
Maybe he likes the chase, you know, it turned him on. He's on top of this woman.
Well,
and he's like, oh,
It's
I kind
not,
of like
it's not
this.
like a dark romance where we want to be chased by the person. Like, she described him
Especially somebody who has like clammy, cold hands. She said it felt like dough, like cold dough.
And then she also said that like he was like musty smelling, like no, like BO. She said she always knew he was around because of his BO.
Smell, yeah.
Like, yeah, he had to have done it, blah blah blah. He goes to jail. Now she starts second guessing herself because there's a new reporter, like I said, coming around asking questions. So now this reporter is like making her second guess herself because she agrees to meeting with him one time and he was like, "Oh, did you know April was pregnant when she died?" Like asking all these questions that she didn't know. And she was like, as her best friend, how could I have not known that? And why didn't anyone tell me? So now she's going back to Will, asking Will, like, what do you remember about that night? Because I don't remember things. And she's going back to her group of friends to find out what exactly happened, like how they remembered that night. So then she goes back to Ryan and she's like, Ryan, like, how did you know she was like pregnant? And he knew because Ryan and Emily were sleeping together, but Ryan and April were sleeping together too. And he doesn't know if it was a prank or not, whether or not the pregnancy was real. She talks to Ryan and he was like, "Oh no, we were sleeping together while she was with Will and while I was with Emily, and Emily knew that I was sleeping with her, so Emily didn't like her. So now she starts suspecting that it might have been Emily who did it." And so she winds up going back to Oxford to kind of ask her, did she kill her?
Yeah.
It's so weird to me.
So
Because
stupid.
if you suspect someone of killing your friend, you're going to go to that person and be like, hey, did you kill her? So this is where she finds out that April did a prank on Emily, basically stating that they thought she cheated on her exams and that now her grades are being held or something. So Emily flips out. She's like, oh my God, like, how can they suspect me of cheating and all these other things? And then April winds up telling her it wasn't true. And so now Hannah's like, that could be the reason why she killed her, was because of that prank and just being mad at her. Now it's the night before her death, and April is part of the theater club and she's putting on, a play, and she's like the head person of the play. Hannah had told April to go change her outfit because she was still in like costume. She was like, hey, go back, change, and then, come back to the party so you can drink or whatever. And she never comes back. The club closes. Hannah is walking back with Hugh because Hugh is like, oh, I'll walk you back if you want me to. And she was like, yeah, please do. So she walks back. She goes into the room. Before she sees the room, she sees that John Neville leaves. He's all like, she says he's like leaving really fast with his head down. So then she goes up and then she notices that April is dead or suspected of being dead. She is screaming. Hugh comes up the stairs. He tells her to leave to go get help, and he stays with April. So that's where we were left off. And now we're back in the present. And now the next couple episodes, the next couple chapters are just the present. So Ryan tells her, about him having sex with her being, him being with Emily at the time. She confronts Emily about everything. Emily is like, no, I didn't do it. She was always doing pranks. I just didn't want to be around her. While she's there, she also suspected one of their professors, and she she doesn't confront him, but she learns that he was away for like a conference. So it couldn't be him. So then she goes back home. Now, this whole time, Will isn't helping her.
No, he's kind of being an asshole about it too.
Yeah, he's like, I don't understand why you keep wanting to go to the past. She's already dead. John Neville, is dead too. He died in jail for his crimes. Like, why are you so fixated on finding out the truth when you already know the truth? Like, he's dead. He did it. You saw what you saw. He was like, did you not see him coming out of there? And she's like, yeah, I did. He was like, I'm worried about you and the baby. You're stressing yourself out. You need to stop. And so she's just like, no, I need to find out. And basically he's like, then I don't want to be a fucking part of it. Don't ask me questions. Like, I don't want to be a part of it. So then she's now she's, getting comfort from Hugh, which is Will's best friend. And she keeps going back to Hugh. And she's like, do you remember what happened? Because you remember Will, was away. And he was like, well, he was like, Will was away, but I remember that night I heard him in his room. And she was like, what do you mean? He was like, I never, checked, but I could have sworn I heard him in his room. So now she's like, oh my God, am I sleeping with April's killer? Am I married to April's killer? This is so fucked up. So she thinks it's Will. She's on the phone with, was it Hugh?
No, it was either Ryan or the reporter, Garrett or something, whatever his name was. It was not Hugh.
Mm-hmm.
Because she didn't get to Hugh till afterwards. She didn't talk to him till then and told him everything that happened.
Yeah, so she's on the phone basically saying, oh, I think it's Will.
Yeah.
And Will is behind her.
Yeah.
So he was like, ask me if I killed April. And instead of asking, she just jets out the house. She just runs out the house with her phone, no shoes, nothing. She's just like basically in her pajamas. She's like, where do I run to? People are looking at her crazy. And so she winds up heading to Hugh's house and he was like, how about you take a shower, rest? You look like you're dead on your feet. Don't worry about it. We'll go to the cops with your new information, what you suspect, and then, we'll take it from there. So basically saying, I got you. I believe you. I'll help you go to the police. I won't tell Will you're here, blah, blah, blah. So then he was like, oh, are you ready to go to the police? I'll take you. She's like, yeah. So they're driving and they're talking. She's looking around. She was like, I don't think this is the right way to the police station. And he was like, oh, the GPS messed up. Don't worry about it. We'll get there soon. And she starts piecing things together of that night. She notices that when she saw April lying down, no, it was the pranking thing. It was something Emily said. She said, she pranked everyone except you. And that always stuck with her. So then when she woke up from one of her like naps or whatever, she was like, no, she did prank me. And the prank was she was pretending to have been dead on the ground, but really she wasn't. And what happened was that she's piecing together is that Hugh made her leave. And she said that when she saw April on the ground, now that she's thinking about it, her cheeks were still flushed. Like if she was just,
it just happened.
Like it just happened. So she was just like, her cheeks wouldn't have been still flushed. Like she would have been cold to the touch if she ever touched her or whatever. So she asked Hugh, I think she asks him first before, telling him outright that she know he did it. I think she said something like, you were the last one to be with April. You did it, didn't you? or why did you kill April or something?
Because he's the one that actually explains to her what the prank was.
Yeah.
I think.
Mm-hmm. So what happens is basically he said that because he didn't tell her about the reasoning
he's the
why.
one that said he did tell her the reason. That he was the one that she got someone to take his entrance exam.
No, I think she finds that out later.
Oh, maybe she does.
Because remember, he was like,
oh,
if
you're right. It was
business,
somebody else that told her that. Somebody did tell her that.
I think it was like he basically told her it's none of your business why I did what I did, kind of thing. But
Yeah.
she knows he was the one who like basically strangled her to death. And we find out later that it was him because when they first see each other that very first night of getting into Oxford, he didn't know April was going there. And what happened was April's ex-boyfriend used to get paid to take people's entrance exams. And he had paid April's boyfriend or ex-boyfriend to take his exam because really he wasn't smart enough to be at Oxford. And throughout the book, we always hear about how much he's struggling and how much pressure he has to be there, that you don't connect the dots. What are they called? Like red herrings or whatever, that he was being pressured to be there and really couldn't. And that was the reasoning behind him killing her, was because she was basically blackmailing him. He was supposed to supply her pills because she was taking probably like Oxy or something, because his dad was a doctor. So Hugh used to pay her with pills. And that's how he got her ex-boyfriend to take the exam for her. So when he first saw her, remember, he drops his tray and he was like, oh shit, I didn't know you would be here, because now someone knows his secret of how he got into Oxford. So she always dangled that in front of him. So like he was basically like her slave. Every time she wanted something or needed something, she would make Hugh do it. One time they did like strip poker and he didn't want to play, and she was like, sit your ass, you're gonna play, stop being such a baby about it. But really it was because she was blackmailing him, and at any moment she could tell his secret. So he saw this as an opportunity. He teamed up with April to do this prank of faking her death on the floor. And so he got Hannah to leave to go get help. And instead of being like, haha, it was a prank, he strangled her and killed her so that he can continue his life. And because of his death, they wind up for their exams, they wound up like, if they failed, they still passed them because of like they wound up getting like an easy out kind of thing.
Win-win for Hugh.
Yeah, for Hugh. And so they're in the car and she's piecing all of this together and she's scared. She's like, Hugh, where are we going? So she winds up calling Will on her phone, even though her phone is broken, but she knows it's on because it's like getting hot. So she's just like, oh my God, I hope he answered the phone and he's listening, and he's, she's trying to give him clues. And so she's like, Hugh, what are you doing? I have a baby. I won't say anything, because she knows he knows, like she knows he knows that she knows what he did. Yeah. So he's like, no, I'm gonna have to like kill you or whatever. And so he brings her to the cliff and he's gonna shoot her. No, he's not gonna shoot her. He has the gun and he was like, jump. I want you to jump. Basically like commit, unalive yourself kind of thing. Yeah. Because you left your house so distraught. You suspect your husband of killing your best friend. So for Hugh, he's like, I'm still not going to be a suspect. This is great. A target scenario. On my back, a full circle moment. The people who know that what really happened are going to be dead. But Will winds up showing up. And he's like, Hugh, what are you doing? She's pregnant. That's my wife, blah, blah, blah. And so they get into like a tussle and the gun goes off and Hugh dies. Will goes to the hospital and, you know, everything kind of falls into place as to like what really happened with like April and stuff. But I still don't know if she was really pregnant or if that was a prank.
I think she was, because didn't her sister say the exams or whatever showed that she was pregnant?
But there wasn't like enough DNA to figure out who the father was.
Right. They didn't want it to go public.
Right.
That's what it was. I don't remember why they hid it or why it was legal for them to do it, but
right.
Regardless.
I didn't suspect you at all. Did you?
No. So for me, it was Will. Right from the beginning, I was
Me
like,
too.
the moment they got together, I was like, oh, she's pregnant, and he killed her.
Yep.
Yeah. So it was Will the whole time for me. I hated this book.
You did?
Oh my God. If we weren't talking about it on the podcast, I would have DNF'd it. It was so boring. The way like you were talking about it, I would be like, oh, I want to read that book. No. It was so fucking boring. The dialogue alone, if I saw another piece of dialogue, I was gonna like rip my eyes out. I fucking hated it. She over explained things.
Yeah.
Like there was some like the part about her being late to her doctor's appointment. She panicked so much about that, and she constantly kept saying, oh my God, I feel so bad, blah, blah, blah. Like every other sentence was her feeling bad about it. And the doctor was like, it's fine, don't worry. And then she's like, oh, I need to get on this exam table, but I need to make sure I don't crinkle the paper. Are you fucking kidding me? Just get on the fucking table. I hated this book.
No, so but this book made me anxious when it came to testing. I'm like, Jesus, they got to take all these tests and exams, and like,
oh my God,
freaking out. Like, how many exams? Oh, I got to get an A, or I'm gonna fail.
Oh Lord,
I'm like, I felt like I was in school again.
Yeah, I didn't like it at all.
I struggle with psychological like thrillers. Like why? I don't know, like sometimes they're really like predictable, like you could like or they're just not executed right. Like Perfect Marriage, no. People love that book. I couldn't stand it. Like, no. The other one by Andrea Bartz or whatever, or Beats, the one We Were Here or something like that. It's like the colorful one. I recently did like a review like a month back or so about the two like best friends that go away on vacation.
Oh, yeah. I do remember that.
No, the ending to that, absolutely not. But this I enjoyed.
I mean, I'm glad you enjoyed it. A lot of people did. I just could not get to it. I really would have DNF'd it. It's literally getting a 1 star from me. Yeah, I did not enjoy it. It was so fucking boring, Celeste. I put it down like so many times.
Okay. Going off. Okay, we finished the review. Yay. I need you to read Red Rising.
I will. I just can't yet.
I need you to do it because I see a lot of good reviews and I need to know where I'm going wrong.
Okay.
And if I should continue. Because I will push through. I will push through, but I struggled with that book and people loved it.
So I'll do it. I'll do it this summer. I have a lot of
TikTok people that I respect their reviews. Love it. And I'm like, where am I going wrong? Where am I going wrong? So I understand. I enjoyed. You did not enjoy. This is the beauty about books.
Yeah.
That it can reach you at different levels. Like I thought it was good. Jenny didn't. I need you to read Red Rising. I will.
I'll do it this summer just because I have a lot of arcs that I need to get through.
I need you to do it. I know the rest of the trilogy comes out, or the final part comes out this summer, so it might be a good thing to do this.
Yeah. I will do it this summer then. But so I decided when this book, the moment I hated it, which was like chapter 1 already. But anyway, when I was done reading it, I wanted another psychological thriller to like fix my palate because, you know, I was in a mood for a thriller.
Right.
And I found one and I absolutely loved it. So maybe you could read that at some point and see how you feel about it.
Okay.
But it was really, really good. It's called River Woman, River Demon by Jennifer Givan. And like I said, it's a psychological thriller. And it's basically about this woman whose best friend, or like a close family friend, hers and her husband's, was murdered behind her house in the lake. And of course, her husband's like the number one suspect because he randomly shows up, and it's rooted in racism as well. So her husband's Black. So he gets like, they immediately arrest him, get him out of there. So the whole time he's in jail, and it's kind of like the same thing. She's trying to figure out what really happened because she has a lot of blackout moments, moments that she can't remember. And back in the day, when she was like 18 or 19, her best friend died in the lake and she was there. So this is now 2 instances where she's had a best friend die in a lake with her being around. So it has a lot of like brujeria and hoodoo and stuff, but it's not like, it's not a fantasy. It's just like a spiritual kind of religion. So that gets brought into it. Really freaking good.
I'm gonna have to, and we're gonna have to compare like our thriller suspense kind of radars.
Yes.
Because I thought this was pretty good because, again, I didn't know it was Hugh until she realized it was Hugh, which I feel like is a good, like, suspense thrillers when you find out, when the character finds out, you know, you're finding out at the same time.
That's the thing that she did really good, was making you think along with the main character, like, okay, so was it Ryan? Was it Emily? Was it Will? Like who?
And then when she suspected Will, yes, it could be him. But in the back of my mind, I'm like, no, it can't be him. Not Will. Not Will.
Yeah. I just think that was too much. Like it.
Yeah, it's like,
it was like, no, you did it. No, you did it. No, you did it kind of thing. And her dumbass kept going to people and literally asking them, so what were you doing that day? And like putting herself in situations that just didn't make any sense.
Yeah, that's true too.
Yeah.
I think it was like 412 pages or something like that.
It's 200 too much.
Okay. 200 too much. There you go. There you go, folks. That's our review. That should be the title. 200 too much.
I don't even know. Honestly, I don't even know if I'm going to review it.
On your own personal thing? I
mean, because it's not going to be... well, I'll put it on my Goodreads, but I don't think I'm going to post about it. I don't want to post about negative reviews. I don't like doing it. Unless I can find... Like when we did the Serpent book, I didn't really like that book, but there were a lot of things that I enjoyed about it. So when I reviewed it, like there were things that I could be like, oh, if you like this, then go ahead and read it. These are the things I liked, but I didn't like the book. I can't do that with this book because it's going to get a 1 star. I was bored. That was my main thing. I was bored.
That hurts.
Yeah. Sorry. Everybody likes something different.
And that's the beauty of books.
Yeah.
You didn't. I thought it was pretty good. Because I was finding out along with Hannah. I was like, me and Hannah, we in this together, girl. Who did it? Poor John. Poor John.
Oh my God.
No, actually, no. John was creepy, but should he have...
He was creepy, but I feel like he was just a little off.
Did he deserve to, die in jail? No.
Yeah, he went to jail forever.
But they probably protected some women because he probably would have gone too far at some point.
You're right. I think you're right about that.
I think eventually
something would have happened.
Something would have happened because they found out that he used to like snoop on the girls.
Yeah. Like, but he wasn't a murderer. So he was in jail, and he
the
probably
way the school handled it, nah.
Yeah, he deserved to be in jail
Yeah,
for other reasons, but not for murdering.
not
He
for
just
murder.
wanted to clear his name. Also, like, I really didn't like the fact that when she ran out of the house after accusing Will, he chased her like a fucking maniac.
I mean, it's
Why
his
did
pregnant wife. Was he supposed to just let her run?
Yeah, bitch, you're accusing me of murder and I'm gonna go after you? No, I'm gonna call the police and say something's up with my wife. Somebody go find her. Like, will you chase after Angel if he accused you of murdering someone?
Would I chase after him? No.
Yeah.
I'm not running in general.
Celese, did
I'm
you
not
do
chasing
it?
nobody.
Yeah, like he
There could
ran
be a
like
demon behind me. Celise is gone. She's not running.
But literally, like she described it as him like chasing her and like being very manic about it and angry.
Yeah. I would be angry if someone suspected me of killing someone and I didn't.
Yes, but not chasing after them and making them believe it more.
Yeah,
like, fuck, he's gonna kill me too.
Yeah, especially how she said he like crept around to try to get closer to her when
so why is he trying to get close to her? To do what? What's he gonna do?
That's true. You got that. Damn it, Will.
God.
But yeah, that's our review of The It Girl.
Yes. And remember, if you didn't like the book, another option by a BIPOC author would be River Woman, River Demon by Jennifer Givan.
You're gonna have to read that one because that sounds really good.
And it was short. And it was part of like a library book club thing for a couple months too. It was really good.
Cool.
Yeah.
I'm going to check that one out. After I get through all these other books.
I know. It's so many. No, I just finished one, a fantasy romance that was so good. So fun, like everything we like about fantasy romance in this book. Super short. Yeah. I'll post about it on Monday.
Fantasy, romance, like you can't get better than that.
There's spice. Yeah.
Spice. You can't go wrong.
Faye, wings, all of it. I know.
I want it all.
I know.
If I could just go like this,
just like
be in my mind. You ever seen that like video of the kid?
He's like
I wish. That would be great. Power. That would be my magical power. Yeah. To know all the books. Just read like that. Read it so fast.
I at least just want to read everything I own before the end of the year and be done with it. And then I could just start reading new books. I know.
Same. I have too many. Honestly, I need to get rid of the books that I know I'm never going to read.
But then what if you get in a mood and you're like, damn, I wish I didn't get rid of that.
No, there's certain books that I know. I just know. Like just reading the back and just.
So why do you have them?
Because they were either given to me or like,
Yeah.
Those types of books. Okay. So. But there are a ton in here, just in this room that I have never read.
You got to make a TBR jar like I did.
No, but and that's the problem with my reading too. I'm like I've been becoming more and more of a mood reader that like, sometimes I just want to read mindless, smutty books. And then there's certain times where I'm like, I need a good, hefty fantasy, or I need like something that's like a whodunit to you kind of thing, like, or like a mafia. There's a girl on TikTok that if I see another TikTok of her reviewing a book, I'm just going to give up all my books here and just read all the books that she reviews because they all sound so good.
But you can't do that because some people are really good at like talking around books and making you want to read them.
Brianna TikTok, you got me hooked. There's like 5 books that she's recommended that I'm like, I want to read that.
Oh my God. That's hilarious.
So good. She's so good at like promoting books. You authors need to talk to Brianna on TikTok, okay? Because she's good. She made me want to read everything. Even the books she's like, don't read. I want to read them because
God.
I'm like, that did not happen in that book. I need to find out for myself.
That's so funny.
So yeah. But yeah, that's it for this episode, friends.
All right. Bye.
Bye.